mom was like, they're going to announce the fight today. You know, I still don't know if I'm going to be there 100%, but I think so. And I definitely do not know if you will be able to be in attendance.
You won the main event. You are fighting for the Undisputed Championship at the White House. Have you allowed yourself to even imagine for a second that you go out there, you get the job done, and then President Trump wraps the Undisputed Lightweight Championship around your waist?
That would be special, but not as special as accomplishing what I set out to accomplish when I started this journey, and that is to become the Undisputed Champion. And to do it against a guy like Ilia Topuria on the White House lawn will be absolutely special, and Trump handing me the belt would be icing on the cake.
Well, congrats. We are super excited for you. It's going to be big.
Hey, I'm going to work.
Well, the MMA world certainly waited with bated breath to see the exact lineup here for this card. Freedom 250 is now locked in. 6 bouts, 2 title fights, and 1 night in the U.S. Capitol, poised to make history on the White House lawn.
You're taking on Charles Oliveira, which is a rematch.
You see your opponent training for that moment. 10 second take, point the ground.
After every huge event, my Twitter is going off because people are just like, oh, look, someone tried to do the best MMA point down. Oh, my God.
I don't know how you do it because I tried to live stream. They called me Unk status.
Oh, bro, you're Uncas. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, I was like 24. I feel like I could run to a brick wall. Now at this age, I'm like, holy, that brick wall better be made out of foam or something. I'm running through it, please. Yeah.
I know you saw with the Zupa boxing, what Ben just got crazy, right?
I just was telling my son this. If you're going to present something, I tell you, oh, I want this much.
Yep.
And your answer to me is like, oh, man, dude, you low politics. That you
What's funny, guys? This episode of the Mighty Cast is sponsored by PrizePicks. Now, PrizePicks daily fantasy sports can play directly on your phone. Very simple. Get on your phone, download PrizePicks. When you do that, use smart code Mighty Cast. Full promotion going on right now for new users. Play things that are essentially in your lineup. And guys, they have everything on the Sunday. The NBA, NHL, mixed martial arts, UFC 326. Max Holloway taking on Charles Oliveira is going to be going on. We're going to drop our predictions, our picks on that as well. Both of our PrizePicks, you are making a pick of what you think is going to happen in the fight. So let's say, for example, Max Holloway, high volume striker. They have significant strikes. If you think Max Holloway is going to knock him out, go with less. Just lock it in. Use promo code MightyCast. Now, hope you guys enjoy this episode on the MightyCast because we have the great blessed Max Holloway on it. Enjoy. What's up, brother?
Hey there, brother.
How are you, man? Look at you, grow. You ain't cutting that much weight, are you?
Not 55, brother.
Okay. I see the face. You got the cheeks looking swollen, sunken in. I didn't know if, you're having a hard time, making 155 since you don't have to make 145.
No. Never. The thing is, it just looks like that because I have a now, so it's like, I just hate, I hate going to cutting my hair and stuff in camp, bro. It's just fucking hassle. So I'm like, I just run it as long as I can, and then we leave next week, so I cut my hair on Wednesday.
Where's the fight again? Is it in New York or MSG?
Vegas. T-Mobile. Easy.
Yeah, I bet. You get more taxes in New York. The taxes ain't no tax there. It's like, here you go, Max. Here's your checks. God bless. Make sure you pay your taxes.
I mean, we got to worry about Hawaii taxes when we come back. That is what it is.
What's the Hawaii tax?
Brother, it is what.
Oh, you're not going to believe this, but David, yes, that David, who was caught up when the decapitated remains of a six miner, Celeste Rivas Hernandez, was found in the trunk of a Tesla parked nearby his Hollywood mansion. He has been disgraced, he has been shamed, but he's still not been arrested. Nobody has seen him, but now we're hearing from him once again. And you won't believe this, but he's actually releasing new music. New music has come out. There's been rumors that snippets have been surfacing. People have been making TikToks to his alleged new songs. And it is quite a shameful, embarrassing show. But people, I'm here to tell you guys that the David effort, hello, my friend, the David efforts to, you know, whitewash this situation, to sweep it all under the rug, go back to releasing music, are definitely well underway. And he really is looking to set the record straight after his Withered Deluxe album was basically shelved. And we're now hearing little snippets and leaks of the album coming out. And it looks like behind the scenes he might actually be pushing for some more motion in his music career. So his Withered album was basically shelved completely. This is the deluxe version of his Withered album, a very suspicious and self-snitching album, by the way. But the album was shelved shortly after the body was identified to be the 14-year-old girl, Celeste Rubas Hernandez. But the project has now leaked. Okay, it was scrapped. They said they weren't going to release the deluxe. They weren't going to run these songs. They said that there is no way in hell we are going to release this. But now, okay, a new video has just surfaced on Reddit, basically showing an alleged friend of David's, okay, showing some backstory, right? It says David's friend, Chase Keith, had a video of dismembering a body in March 2025, okay? So there's more weird little bits of creativity going around, right? This is called Buzzkill. It's, I believe, a short film, right? But it definitely has some very disturbing scenes, okay? There's basically, you know, iconography, chopping up bodies. Look at this, like, that looks just like what we saw removed from the trunk of David's Tesla. Let's not be ridiculous. Okay? Absolute scenes. And then it's like, this guy's chopping up the body. I'm good on the music, I think. This is a fiction, by the way. We're not actually seeing, you know, real decapitation going on here. This is the guy's whole short film, chopping up a body, just being an absolute psychopath, right? Is, you know, there's a fly in the room with him. He's then out, you know, back to his normal life. It just seems like the David story. Just out and about, back to his old life, living a good life, chilling outdoors. It just seems just like the David story. And lo and behold, there's another girl in here that looks a little bit like Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Okay, it's extremely dark. And it would all end with basically him with what appears to be a woman on the chopping block. And this is just disturbing. Okay, yet another friend of David's with dark, bloody themes in his videos. Someone told me about this earlier tonight. Chase Keith has a video released on March the 1st, 2025, of him dismembering a make-believe body in a trash bag. He was also at David's house, May the 6th, 2025. Here is a video of that. Oh,
Alright, so we're about to rate some 2025 Met Gala.
David's crib? Is that David's crib? Oh, no. So David is friends with him. I'll put some... It was just surfaced. And he really is looking to set the record straight after his Withered Deluxe album was basically shelved. And we're now hearing little snippets and leaks of the rumors that snippets have been surfacing. People have been making TikToks to his alleged new songs. And it is quite a shameful, embarrassing show. But people, I'm here to tell you guys that the David efforts, hello, my little friend, the David efforts to, you know, whitewash this situation, just sweep it all under the rug, go back to releasing music, are definitely well underway. And he really is looking to set the record straight after his Withered Deluxe album was basically shelved. And we're now hearing little snippets and leaks of the album coming out. And it looks like behind the scenes he might actually be pushing for some more motion in his music career. So his Withered album was basically shelved completely. This is the deluxe version of his Withered album that was a very suspicious and self-snitching album, by the way. But the album was shelved shortly after the body was identified to be the 14-year-old girl, Celeste Rivas Hernandez. But the project has now leaked. Okay, it was scrapped. They said they weren't going to release the deluxe. They weren't going to run these songs. They said that there is no way in hell we are going to release this. But now, okay, a new video has just surfaced on Reddit, basically showing an alleged friend of David's, okay, showing some backstory, right? This says David's friend, Chase Keith, had a video of dismembering a body in March 2025, okay? So there's more weird little bits of creativity going around, right? This is called Buzzkill. It was, I believe, a short film, right? But it definitely has some very disturbing scenes, okay? There's basically, you know, iconography, chopping up bodies. Look at this, like, that looks just like what we saw removed from the trunk of David's Tesla. Let's not be ridiculous. Absolute scenes. And then it's like, this guy's chopping up the body. I'm good on the music, I think. This is a fiction, by the way. We're not actually seeing, you know, real decapitation going on here. This is the guy's whole short film, chopping up a body, just being an absolute psychopath, all right? It's, you know, there's a fly in the room with him. He's then out, you know, back to his normal life. It just seems like the David story. Just out and about, back to his old life, living a good life, chilling outdoors. It just seems just like the David story. And lo and behold, there's another girl in here that looks a little bit like Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Okay, it's extremely dark. And it would all end with basically him with what appears to be a woman on the chopping block. And this is just disturbing. Okay, yet another friend of David's with dark, bloody themes in his videos. Someone told me about this earlier tonight. Chase Keith has a video released on March the 1st, 2025, of him dismembering a make-believe body in a trash bag. He was also at David's house, May the 6th, 2025. Here is a video of that. Oh, no. Oh, no.
So we're about to rate some 2025 mega.
David's crib? Is that David's crib? Oh, no. So David is friends with him. I'll put some photos in the comments. This doesn't mean Chase Keith was involved in anything, but it's certainly worth mentioning. The thought of dismembering a dead body was not a foreign topic for these people to think about. There they are, hanging out. That looks like almost like a missing person shirt. Crazy. Chase, David, and Neo all together. Look at Neo, little twerp there. Chase and Asia, all right? Very unfortunate. These are like demon children from hell. What the F? Can't believe that this is what they're doing. It's sick in that he values the fly over her life. The fly was hit off his shoulder. His friend, he kills her and shows the fly it's for him as revenge. Disguised as just a video, but it shows their mindset. These freaks, it's gore living it up as art. The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. Very similar scene that David created too. What is wrong with these guys? So after the messages I received on here and I just made the guy delete his account, I'm 100% certain Chase Keith and David had a private conversation about dismemberment. Great job at Jake Pizza. Okay, Asia and Celeste Herrera there in the kitchen. Absolutely insane. Because I can't imagine a 14-year-old having to deal with them. That's all that surrounded her. David had designed hell for her, justice for Celeste. It is dark. Okay, these guys are messed up. So this video is sick. It's not normal art. This guy, Chase Keith, is trying to make dismemberment artistic. This guy adds music, artistic camera views, and makes the whole story about dismemberment dark humor. Is it just a harmless coincidence David's friends with someone who made an art video about dismemberment? I doubt it. I wonder what David thought when he watched this. Did they screen it at David's crib? They were there comparing fits. I could personally believe it. They could even have private convos discussing tips they know about dismemberment. I'm sad to say this, but I'm grateful Celeste was found in David's trunk. Because if David was a little bit smarter, there's a high chance the public would have never even known Celeste. I won't be satisfied with anything less in life than prison for David. I pray they get anyone else involved. Celeste Angel, we know, care about her, and we can't stop spiritually fighting for her. Okay, super weird. Now, back to the music, okay, there's been leaks of the new tracks on David's Withered Deluxe album, and people are breaking down the disturbing lyrics in the songs, okay? It says, with today's fully leaked David Withered Deluxe Narcissistance album, the song I'm Good has lyrics that disturbingly line up with what happened to Celeste. It said, are you drunk or high? Because baby, you ain't in the right mind right now, and I don't need you wasting my time. You keep acting like it's funny. I'm not playing around. You need to get together your life because I'm not going to be there whenever you need me to help you. I've been great. You've been rotten in your place. All these diamonds in the face, all these things I can't replace you with. Every day it gets better every day. I just really, really pray sometimes. Excuse me. Self-Incrimination 101 by Mr. David Bach. Its finest. That lyric about rotting in your place is very, very dark. Okay, so he's doing great while his underage victim was left in a Tesla where he literally abandoned her rotting away. The word rotten means biologically breaking down and decaying. The other lyrics are unsettling too. Just lock this guy up, LAPD, G's. They're saying just aside from everything else going on right now, these lyrics suck ass. They're saying where did it leak? On a private Discord of people who have been releasing his unreleased songs. Terrible lyrics. People are saying, I think he used AI for his lyrics. His prompts are murder and hating on little girl, transferring his sins and doing wrongs onto her, blaming her. He's always showing his deranged hate and control over her, then violence and blood ending in murder. He's a little perverted, murderous clown man who made music industry music with his fake auto-tuned voice. And since he's into Japanese culture, he knows she will haunt him. They're saying AI would have generated better lyrics, to be honest, which is why he has a very ABC bars. I'm pretty sure he just uses his notes app, as some said in interviews, and just babbles about his life. Interesting. They're talking about diamonds in the face, could be referring to facial piercings that Celeste had. That's very interesting. People buying his crap music are what he's counting on to keep making money on. He doesn't have a conscience and he feels that she deserved what she got. There's been a major inconvenience for him. Plus he misses his jerk-off sidekicks. Literally, he wants his adoring fans back and it's eating him. Boycott his trash and keep on saying as many platforms as possible, justice for Celeste. Just like this platform is justice for Celeste. Okay? Very, very dark stuff. All right? A lot of these songs David wrote a long time ago. The thing is, David had an obsession with death in general, so a lot of these lyrics, it's hard to know if it's about Celeste or if he was just writing about general death and gore. I don't buy that personally, right? They're saying, I bet David is happy living it up, not in jail, but hopefully the police will eventually make an arrest. But it's been a long time. It's been a very, very long time. So people point out other allegedly incriminating songs that were apparently associated with these leaks in this project. Another one called Dance With Your Coffin. You can't make amends with a dead woman and I'll dance with your coffin. Oh. What the fuck? So I heard about your community and I'm disgusted with this guy. I found a genius song with more incriminating lyrics. Is this a confession? Also rest in peace to Celeste. Bruh, no way. Lock him up, Your Honor. He sounds like a totally unapologetic person. Don't be surprised if it turns out David feels no remorse. And he can do it again and again. Lock him up for heaven's sake. He's guilty as F. His fans say his music's beautiful. What is friggin' wrong with them? Do they not understand English? They love these lyrics, his lousy auto-tune singing of them, his melodies from other existing music. Music industry designed this crap for the youth to think it's awesome, but it is disturbing. Okay? I saw right under that song Genius, there's another one called Take My Soul Away. I searched it on YouTube just now. Is this real? He literally talks about killing her while she's asleep. You don't hurt my feelings, now I ain't got no feelings. Kill me psychologically, don't turn me to a demon. She's gonna go to bed at night. I kill her while she's sleeping. What the hell? What on earth? Oh, just more self-snitching. She's going to go to bed at night. I kill her while she's sleeping. I'm going to kill her slowly, make sure she don't feel it. That doesn't make sense. Late nights, you on my mind. It's so hard to miss the high with you, but I cannot waste no time. I've got to get you off my mind. What the hell? Now, they're saying that song's from 2022. Where'd you find this? I can't find it anywhere. There it is. Dance With Your Coffin. So it turns out it's completely fake, sadly. It has nothing to do with David himself. Probably just made it 30 minutes ago for attention. There's no song on Mark Esson. It's called Dance With Your Coffin. The full album's been leaked already, and the track list is up on his Instagram. They're saying it's not fake. It's a snippet. It got posted a long time ago. We're saying, do you have the snippet? People are just asking for attention. But yeah, they're apparently allegedly fakes. Okay, I edited this. This is real. There's a group buy soon. Don't come against me. I only transcribed David for Genius IQ because he's popular now because of this stuff. I still don't like him. Absolutely disgusting snippet. What is that? Please explain. I don't want to get in trouble explaining this. Okay, I'm fairly certain that was a troll song, all right? But basically, there's been debate about whether or not this this song is real. I don't know 100% sure. People are saying it's a snippet that's real, it's out there, but there's more talk of possible confessions in these songs. It says David's Deluxe just leaked in full on Discord. And one of the things that stood out to me were the lyrics from the final song, Frontline. It seems like he's telling a little more to the Celeste story, and they've been matching up with what Steve thinks. Let me know, especially since it's the conclusion to the Deluxe. It would feel almost poetic for David to end withered with him telling their tale. So it's been a year and a couple months. I can try to catch you up. It's cold in here. Oh, cold in here. You see, we dance, we get jumped. Don't you dare call it love. It may be clear. Leave me by yourself. I don't need your help. I haven't seen you in a long time, babe. Left me alone on a front line, babe. Reading your text in the bathroom, in the shower, singing my sad songs. I've been trying to erase you. It makes me feel like an asshole. Just got rid of my tattoo. I always knew it wouldn't last long. I wouldn't pick up if you called me. I just threw away my trap phone. Maybe that's my way of saying thank you for everything you taught me, because I don't even hate you for real. Only thing I could never change you, so I had to replace you. Leave me by yourself. I don't need your help. I haven't seen you in a long time, babe. Left me on a frontline, babe. Creepy. People saying, what an effing loser, crying over a literal child. Oh my God, after I read the part that said, only thing I could never change you, so I had to replace, that made me feel unwell and uneasy. The whole case is just a lot, and I want Celeste to get justice. People saying it's a reference to Juice WRLD's Lucid Dreams, but could also have a meaning. People saying, damn, I didn't realize the reference. It made me think he probably genuinely started hanging out with the older Celeste more, and in general to try and replace the old Celeste and just move on as if nothing ever happened because he's a psycho. I have so many feelings about it. It's all just wild, but he's admitted he was into gore and other weird stuff in the past, so I really hope she didn't suffer. However, she did pass away. There was some report I thought I read remaining opioid bottles in different rooms at the home that David was renting. I wonder if Celeste was super depressed and ever realized she was being groomed and started using anything to cope. I bet he treated her like shit. She barely had her own clothes from the pics I've seen. He probably hid her away 24/7 in a room. It all just seems really fucked. The age situation is sickening, right? Imagine living your life every day with the thought of chopping a person up. It's so heinous and effed up. He has some issues for real. The verbiage he uses in songs and when doing interviews even, and his whole interview talking about his anime alter ego named Atami that murders people, and his other self is a detective or some shit that solves the murders. Like, what the F? Nothing poetic about child murder. He was saying in his own fucked up way. Why would he leak this himself when it's possibly incriminating? Maybe his manager did, or maybe David even did it himself. Now, some people argue that the leak was actually done on purpose by David and his team, and there's some more speculation on this going around on various subreddits. It says there's absolutely zero way that David didn't leak this album himself. Let me have a little sip of Monster before I read that post. You really actually caught something with the file sizes. I've worked in music for 15 years since signing my first major deal at 18. I'm trying to find a way to verify myself without blowing my identity. But you hear my productions every day. I've had a few platinums and 2 #1 records that I've had a hand in. If you don't believe me, it's cool. But if you need clarification on how the process goes from 0 to full track, the only thing I can mention is that I was brought up through Rodney Jerkins. I focused on the production side. Anything other than that, I can't really be too specific. I've been offered to do the artist thing because I songwrite and can sing, but when you sign that artist deal, no matter how big, you become an asset to the label. I'm lucky to have a great manager who helps me with keeping my identity hidden. I have horrible anxiety, but I've run into every single situation, including being offered success through certain entities, but the key to get them away from you is to just not ask what they can offer you. Just say no. David is the tip of the iceberg, if even that. We say most of the songs on the album have been previously leaked, namely Favorite, Summer Don't End, Affirmation, 11 PM, and How Do You Sleep. The one I do want to talk about, though, is Affirmation. This song is entirely different. The lyrics are 95% the same as the old leak, but the new Affirmation has different background vocals that are noticeably different if you listen to the old one. Even the lyrics are sung in a much different way. It sounds better, obviously, which only tells me that he has still been actively working on these songs and remaking even some of them from the ground up. Edit also added a comment I made. No leaker or regular fan is getting a 50 MB file WAV recording of a song. All of the songs on the album are this big, depending on the length, ranging from 35 megs all the way to 60. This is the absolute maximum quality, lossless without compression, coming straight from the studio. Either David or someone on his team with direct access to his music catalog is the one who leaked this. Edit 2 with a comment from Bit Muniers. I know someone who works in music in a significant position. There's no way a lossless file just get leaked without it being internal. Basically, lossless has a mild spectrum. WAV files are stored on a lacy orange drive and aren't sent via email until a certain point. In that case, there would be multiple people CC'd when it comes to working with stem files. I've run into every scenario dealing with certain artists. No, I never worked with David, but he's below my pay grade due to experience. Edit 3, something I found out recently. I went digging for the metadata of one of the songs on the album using Adobe Audition, a dedicated audio software, to find out more details. But the metadata of all the files is completely stripped, as sterile as can be, which leaves us with 2 chances. The insider theory, which is what I strongly believe in which this came from somebody on the team, if there's someone who understands contractual liability. An insider knows that if the metadata says exported on 2:14 PM Studio B Pro Tools Rig 4, the label can check the security logs and know where the leak came from. They stripped the data to create plausible deniability, probably imported the master into a clean session in a different program like Audacity and re-exported it. This keeps the audio quality at 100% but kills the paper trail. Or we have a hacker, which was less likely for me to believe, because if this really was a hacker, they don't have a job to lose. And according to Gemini, which isn't a reliable source, so feel free not to quote me on that, I'm not an audio expert, the file name style usually indicates the source. This is a table I copied directly from Gemini. Again, studio workers or audio engineers, please feel free to quote me on it. Okay, so there's the file name size. This type is usually from an engineer. This type is usually from a hacker or a fan. Someone have renamed it for the community. Or this style would also be from an insider or a studio rip. Okay, a bounce. Edit 4, most important one to me so far, in my opinion. A Redditor on this sub texted me claiming to be an audio expert. I didn't believe it at first, but he proceeded to show me evidence that he's actually a Big Shot audio expert. He verified a lot of my claims in the post. He asked me to conceal his identity and not post any of the picture evidence he sent me because it's private. And I'm sure he has his reasons. Looks like we are onto something here, fellas. Right? This is what a beat looks like before it gets exported to MP3 or WAV. Once I export the individual tracks to send for recording through WeTransfer to the recipient, this track actually was on a #1 album, but this is just the beat, no vocals. When it comes to exporting them, I'm going to export the individual tracks in case something needs to be arranged. Now, I export the individuals as WAV because of the sound quality. WAV files are big because they're essentially lossless. I circled the small ones because you'll see the size different at the first stages. In addition to that, I also export an MP3 for the relevant people working on it to have a full reference without eating storage. And they basically said, looks legit. Can you verify my third edit? It said, that's pretty insane though. They said, let me check. You're saying that I'm onto something here. It could actually be huge to pin down David's activity recently, or even how his team is moving. I remember seeing somewhere where people said that his label dropped him. Could that be relevant? This would be crazy. They said, correct. So in a studio, there's normally A room, B room, etc. So the fact it shows rig number is damning. You might start the track in the studio and got back to it later. Either him or someone inside stripping the metadata is a huge no-no. Because it worries me here that the same people who were posting here a few days ago that this leak would happen are also saying David's team said they would officially release something to it soon. What the F is going on, and why is David allowed to do this? Said there was another post on the David sub of someone claiming they received a vinyl record copy from his team, but the comments say it's fake. So I don't know if it's a hoax or PR stunt, but what the F indeed. So I know someone who works in music in a significant position. There's no way a lossless file gets leaked without it being internal. Basically, has a mild loss spectrum. Yeah, we already saw that. It says, do professional studios really use such low resolution uncompressed WAV files? That's not something I would expect for sure. Interesting theory on the WAV thing. The files can carry a lot of embedded metadata. Most standard session exports don't embed the deeper broadcast orientated stuff, but even a basic bounce can leave some of that on there. So basically, yeah, they're saying this is wild because why would you leak new tracks with such damning lyrics unless you thought no one would notice, or unless you know you're already cooked? I'm no expert, but as it's been said, the case defies logic. It said the case is highly illogical. To this day, I haven't reached any definitive conclusion. I think and nothing. He had already been promoting the deluxe edition quite a bit and showing some of the songs. He knew there were things in the lyrics, and it seems that he would want to leave it for people to unravel. He even said the deluxe edition would be the conclusion of this cycle. Why would he make it so obvious? He didn't even bother hiding the car. I swear I have no idea what's going on in his head. So I'm not sure if anyone mentioned this already, but David's Instagram post announcing the album said that he was the only one who worked on the album, plus it was all on his phone, meaning he was probably the only one who could have leaked it. This, even then, he obviously sent stuff to the label, so unless David's iPhone got hacked somehow, one of the team had to have the same thing happen to them, then I get it. So it could well be David leaking the music, right? Let's be real. That is potentially what's happening. And there has now been speculation that David is still dropping music as TikTok sounds now. Look, I'm not going to play any more of that, but people are saying this is a David song that is now popping up as a sound on TikTok. People are making videos to it. And this is the post that David really thought he was slick, still dropping music on an alt account. Says, I saw this post alleging that David is still posting new music to TikTok, and the original sound shows a BandLab snippet as well, which David famously used to record his music. If he's still recording and releasing music on an alt account, which seems very likely based on this snippet, this is another level of effed up and disrespect. Okay, he says, yes, he is posting them. Some fans are showing snippets of the songs, and they are new songs. His fans are saying he's making new music. It's kind of disrespectful, really, right? David is still not in prison, sadly. Sick. Okay, people are saying it is disgusting. Meanwhile, our favorite private investigator, Steve Fisher, SF Investigates, he was expressing even more frustration with LA law enforcement for not arresting David. Still, and I agree with him, right? Says today marks 6 months since Celeste Rivas Hernandez was found dismembered in the front trunk of a Tesla owned by David Burke, also known as David. She had been viciously hacked apart and placed into 2 bags. Celeste was only 14 years old when she was killed. To this day, no one has been charged or arrested, and in other cases involving murdered children, such as Melody Buzzard, or the recent case of 2 young girls found dead in suitcases, law enforcement and prosecutors held public news conferences. In the case of Celeste Rivas Hernandez, there's never even been one. Instead, there has been what appears to be an ongoing effort to keep the people quiet and seal records from public view. Meanwhile, the individuals responsible for killing her and cutting off her limbs are still living among us as free citizens. How many times can a young girl who only lived to be 14 be failed? Maybe this case needs new investigators and prosecutors. Preach, all right? I agree, this is a joke, okay? Also, in other cases, the family of the victim spoke out and held press conferences, went on shows, and made sure the victim isn't forgotten and had justice. Not this family. They sure do love that GoFundMe money, though. I don't want to hear any excuses like I heard they're immigrants, that they can't speak English. Miss me all the way with that bullshit. If they would have done the bare minimum of parenting, she wouldn't be dead. Now, that's really interesting, okay? One of the regular people on here compared Celeste's family to one of the girls in the Idaho 4 case. The girl's dad was on blast 24/7 in the media, making sure everything was being done to get justice to his daughter, and it worked. While Celeste's family has stayed quiet, not even one of their friends has spoken out as an anonymous source, not one of Celeste's schoolmates, only her first boyfriend, who looks like he was being forced into the interview by his mother. It's strange. Surely they can't be scared of that. Scott, that scared of David. One of the most heartbreaking things about this case is when they held a vigil.